Hey there, welcome to Crafting Unedited. My name is Sierra and today I'm going to teach you how to use Cricut Infusible ink markers. So I recently wrote a post on an article on how to use these markers and pens. They're really neat. But they can be kind of confusing to use because it's not like a normal marker or even pen, you know. These you actually do, if you want to iron it or press it onto a material, you have to reverse the image. So drawing freehand is a little confusing. We'll do a different video for the freehand markers. This is just for the fine point. Has the F on the bottom here. I don't know if you can see that. F here and the medium point. So fine point, just like a pen, has a fine tip. So it's skinnier and more for like those little tiny intricate lines. The medium, my eyebrow's doing something weird. Sorry guys. Medium is a bit thicker to fill things in. So I actually use both of these in most of my designs. Today I have a design of a sunflower half with grow through what you go through. So I'm going to use both of these to show you the differences. First, what I want to do is tell you what you're going to need. Obviously, you need the markers. They do say Infusible ink right here on them. On all of them. Infusible ink. You are going to need a sheet of copy paper. Any copy paper will work, doesn't matter, and a sheet of cardstock. This comes in later for the pressing. You will also need a sheet of butcher paper. So unlike with the Cricut Infusible ink transfer sheets, the pens and markers do not come with any butcher sheets. So what I would suggest is go ahead, drop down to the description and pick some up from Amazon. Cricut doesn't have any of the butcher sheets sold separately yet, but Amazon has a ton of options and they're really inexpensive. You're going to need butcher paper for every single Infusible ink project that you do. This absorbs any of the gases and the ink that may transfer onto your press or other materials. So it is definitely worth having on hand. And not only that, it has to be, so even if you're doing, like the design I'm doing today is on an 8x10 canvas. And that doesn't take up the whole plate of my press. I had a brain fart there. So this butcher paper needs to cover the entire press plate. Not just your project, the entire press plate. So you want to make sure that whatever butcher paper you get is in the same size as your press plate, so that it can absorb the fumes and the gases and all of that and keep you safe and your press plate safe. Make it last longer. All right. So, and then you're going to need a mat, a Cricut sticky mat, and your blank, whatever that might be. I am experimenting with this canvas, so if this works, you get a 2-in-1 how-to. I haven't used Infusible ink on a canvas, but hey, I figure why not give it a shot, right? Right. So I'm going to move on over to the Cricut, run through a quick time lapse of how I set all of that up, and then I'll hop back on over here to show you the pressing. See you in a minute. Alrighty, so we are on Design Space, and I have my image here, and you can see that I had taken, so originally when I had moved it over into the make, it had the two designs, so it had the flower and the words kind of like separated, and that's not what I want. I want it to actually draw all together, so I had to edit the mat and put them back in place. Also, you will see that it is mirrored, so you don't have to stress out about that. You want to mirror your image. Always mirror your image. All right, so I'm just going to select done. Now, in your material, you're going to want to select, go over to your search bar, type in copy, and you'll see all of the copy paper selections that you have available. I'm just using good old-fashioned 20-pound copy paper. And there we go. So I'm going to go ahead and put that through the Cricut. We'll see you over there. Alrighty, now that we have our close-up, our design all drawn out, you can't really see the yellow. I had to move my ring light because I have no lighting over here yet. Working on that, we are kind of like moving things around in the craft room. I also share it with the laundry room, so I got a limited amount of space, but that's okay. It works. So now that we have this, there are two things that I really want to make sure that you are advised of. When I was going through the time lapse, I pointed to the design itself and went like this: do not touch the ink. Don't touch it. Nowhere near it. Don't touch it. Reason being is that your hands, I just went like this, so now my hands have oil from my hair, or if you touch face, has oil from your face, has natural oils. All of that will absorb onto the ink. Sorry. All of that will transfer onto the ink, which will cause marbling or ghosting is what they call it. So don't touch it. Wash your hands prior to touching anything infusible ink, and make sure that your hands are super clean. If not, just hold the corners, hold the bottom, hold the left, hold the right, all that good stuff. Don't touch it. And then I also forgot to mention that you do need heat resistant tape. Looks like this. You need some of this for your project. So reason being is what we're going to do. We're going to take our canvas, which I left over here. Hold on one second. I'm a little slow today, apparently, so don't mind me. My press is already heating up. Let's set that butcher paper over there somewhere. So what you're going to do is take your blank, you're going to take your image, and you are going to tape it wherever you want onto the blank. This is pretty hard for me because I cannot see that yellow through here, so I have no idea where it ends. Note to self, don't use bright yellow as a main color. It doesn't really, it's not very easy to use. So you'll want to, maybe if I put it in there, there we go. Okay. So it kind of looks about straight. We'll put this over to the side, all the way over. I'm eyeballing this. Don't judge my measuring skills here, guys. All right, so what I like to do for canvases, if I'm transferring HTV onto them, and yes, you can watch my video on that, it's way easier, is I like to fold the edges. That looks a little crooked. Hold on. Fold the edges before I tape. This just makes taping a little bit easier. And then I fold the bottom. Same thing, not touching anywhere where the ink is. Now for this, once I have it taped, I'm going to put that piece of cardstock, I feel really unprepared, guys, right on top of my transfer. So when I put it on my plate's going to touch the cardstock, not my image. All right. So I've got that set on there. I'm just going to set it right here while I cut up a couple of pieces of this tape here. You do need heat resistant tape because if you use regular tape, it's going to melt. Don't want that, do we? Here, grab scissors. So I'm just going to cut off a long strip here. You don't need a whole lot of it. But you do want to make sure that you have enough so that your image does not shift at all. When it shifts, you get marbling, you get ghosting, you get smearing, you get all the above. So I'll show you here in a minute where I'm taping this at and where you should tape yours. This stuff is super inexpensive too. I got it off of Amazon. Cricut has theirs, but you get a little dinky roll of it, and I go through a lot of this. So, Amazon, I will find the link, drop it in the description for you, and that way you can find the exact one. It came with 2 rolls for like $8. I don't hate that. I can deal with that. So, for this, I did 2 strips on the back, and now I'm going to do 2 strips on the front. And then it's ready to go. I did one up here, one over here. So this way all 4 corners or 4 edges have some sort of seal to them. And now this is ready to press. Don't know if my press is ready to be pressed, but we're almost there. So give you a little chit chat while I wait for my heat press to heat up. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, you should do it now. It's super easy. All you gotta do is hit that little red button down there. And that helps me help you and help every other crafter out there that watches my stuff. What that does is that sends to YouTube saying, hey, we like her stuff. She's very informative, blah, 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 all that good stuff. And that states to YouTube that they should keep putting my stuff out there, which means I can earn some income so that I can keep supplying all of the products that are required to make these really fun tutorials and projects for you guys. So, and there's a lot of new stuff out there that I want to get, but you know, budget gets a little tight when, you know, people just come out of the holidays. So just being real with you, that's what I do. So if you can just subscribe to the channel, that helps out. Also, hitting the like button on any video helps out tremendously as well. That tells YouTube that we like her stuff. Keep it going. If you dislike it, I understand. No hard feelings. It's still interaction. But what helps the most is if you subscribe, you hit the like button, and you drop me a comment. Even if it's just saying, hi, drop me an emoji, send me something fun. I don't care. It gets me content, so I'll take what I can get. And it takes all of 3 minutes. All 3 minutes of your time is totally free. You don't have to purchase anything from me, ever. Just like my stuff and subscribe. That's all. All right, so we should be back to business now. So close. So I have my heat press. Something else that you need to know. My heat press is set at 385. For the canvas, I might need to bump it up some, but we'll see. Worst case, I'll just leave it on a little longer. So I have it set for 385 and for 45 seconds. So Cricut will tell you, and probably every other crafter out there will tell you, that 20 seconds is plenty for infusible ink. I don't believe that. I have done several things at 20 seconds at 385, which is their recommended temperature. It doesn't transfer all the way. So if you've used infusible ink or the transfer sheets, and you've gone according to their time frames and you peel up that mask, you notice that all of the color has not been transferred off of that mask. I think I have something left over to show you. Perfect example. I made this for my daughter. I made a tote bag for my daughter yesterday, and I used infusible ink. This is the letter, and I did it for 20 seconds. 20 seconds. She's a toddler. She didn't have any patience, so I couldn't wait any longer. But normally I do 45 seconds. Reason being is, you see all of this leftover ink right here? That's vibrancy that can be transferred onto your material. That means that it wasn't on there long enough. Didn't have enough time to really soak into that material. It's a hack, I'm telling you. Try it. Try one for 20 seconds, try one for 45 seconds, see which one you like better. But if I would have done it for 45 seconds, all of this ink would have transferred onto that tote. Now, if I hadn't already messed with this and touched it, I could probably reuse this and get more ink off of it, but I've already reused it and it's already been in the trash. Can't do that. So 385 for 45 seconds. Try it. Tell me what you get out of it. Is it better for you? Is it worse for you? Do you like it more? Do you prefer Cricut's method of doing their stuff? I always like outsmarting the makers, so we'll see. All right, we are a go. So what I'm going to do is put my project face up on my press. We are going to put cardstock, and then we are going to put butcher paper. So you're probably thinking, wait, isn't the cardstock going to absorb the heat? A little bit, but not too much, and that's also why I do 45 seconds. So, all right, so this is gonna be a little screechy at first because it's first thing in the morning. It's the first time it's been used, so ignore the sound that you didn't even hear just now. Boom. Pressing 45 seconds, and then once that is pressed, what we do is we don't touch it. You lift up your press very, very, very easily and quickly to avoid that paper from going and going all over the ink going all over the project. So very quickly, very easily lift up your press and walk away. Let it cool. It's got to cool for at least 3 to 5 minutes. Don't worry, I'm not going to talk to you for that whole 3 to 5 minutes. I'll cut the video off and come back when it's already passed. All right, so, and this thing's hard to lift apparently. See, as you can see, didn't want that to happen. I didn't follow my own directions, so everything fell off to the side. Hopefully it did not ruin my stuff. Do what I say, not what I do. I'll see you in a minute for the reveal. Alrighty, so now time for the big reveal, which is not very big. So that yellow, definitely learned my lesson. It should have been colored in. It did not transfer very well at all. I can see it, but it kind of just looks like, you know, when you look out into the light and then you look back onto a white piece of paper, you see those yellow lines. That's exactly what it looks like. So I'm going to have to do some finagling here. I'll figure it out. But this is what the blue looks like. And it's not as vibrant as you can see as it is on here. But you can still see it. It's legible. And at first, so yes, Infusible ink works on a canvas. Number one. Does it transfer as broad or bright? No, but it's still pretty cool. I still like it. And were there any issues peeling the stuff off? Absolutely. So, another reason to make sure that your product cools before you touch it. So as I was pulling this off, you can see here that I had some struggles. The paper had melted to the painty stuff. And you can kind of see up here where that cardstock had melted to the canvas. So what a canvas is, it is a stretched piece of material. I don't remember what it's called. But then it's painted on top of it. So the paint that they use tends to get melted by your press, which is also why you use that cardstock sheet, because if you did not use that cardstock sheet, you probably would have gotten a little bit more of a brighter image, but at the same time, you would have also melted your canvas onto that butcher paper. So use the cardstock, save yourself a headache. I promise, it's worth it. All right, so it kind of works. You can see here, but the whole point in the tutorial was how to use the markers and pens, not how to use it on the canvas. So you got a 2-for-1. And I enjoyed doing it. And now I know that I can use that on canvas. And that canvas was only $1 from the Dollar Tree. So, pew, lots of ideas running through my brain right now. Anyways, subscribe, like, tell me how it went for you. Tell me what your favorite part about using these markers and pens is, whatever. Tell me all about it. Drop a comment. Like, subscribe, comment. That simple, guys. I love you all, and I'll see you later.